I'd like to take a few minutes to go through this jurisdiction activity that you did a couple days ago. I just want to make it clear what your uh, these jurisdictions from the state or federal level, civil or criminal case types of jurisdiction, based on what you did. You don't necessarily. I don't think I'm going to have you corrected at all, but unless you really kind of missed the mark. So you can see some of these. I'm going to explain some of these, especially the ones that are a little bit more complicated. Mr. Smith receiving the speeding ticket issued by New Speed Cameras feels the cameras are inaccurate. He's taking his case to court. State case, criminal. Um, it's civil infraction, but it's a criminal case because it involves the government. Original jurisdiction, right? The District Court of Michigan would be individual district municipal district court would be hearing it. A woman from Arnold is taken into custody assaulting her boyfriend. Shares a second degree assault. Again, this is a fairly straightforward one. Original jurisdiction, court of first resort, criminal state crime. Didn't happen interstate. Two people convicted of killing a Flint resident. The defendants claimed that their due process rights were violated and appealed to the next court. It's a state case, a murder in Flint, a criminal, of course, and appellate because it's the second level appealing. A man from Genesee County was convicted, given life in prison without parole for felony murder of 3 people. His case was appealed to this court. So again, it would be actually this price to this court, to the Court of Appeals, but actually, so clearly a state case within the state statute, criminal, of course, and then there's actually two different things going on. We have an original jurisdiction at first, and then an appellate later, because his case was appealed to the Court of Appeals, which is usually automatically going to happen in a felony murder case. The state of Maryland sued Virginia over the soil erosion. A local restaurant, I skipped one. A local restaurant caught a man trying to buy a meal with a fake $20 bill. The man was arrested and charged with counterfeiting. So because it's money, this is federal. Of course, it's a crime, and then it's an original jurisdiction because it's the district court would be dealing with it at the federal level. I was about to say the state district court, but it's different. Maryland sued Virginia over soil erosion caused by the development along the Potomac. And Maryland claimed that there was an impact in economic environmental impact from the pollution. This is a civil case, state suing another state. Actually, usually what happens when a state sues another state like this, this is a case where, believe it or not, this would end up in the U.S. Supreme Court. States suing other states are usually under the is one of the rare times the U.S. Supreme Court, which we'll talk about next week, has original jurisdiction. Walmart was sued for violating labor laws regarding mandatory breaks in minimum wage. This is a civil case. A person or a group of people bringing a suit against a company for damages. State labor laws are at the state level usually, are handled at the state level. An original jurisdiction because it's the first time anybody's hearing the case. I talked about the EPA imposing a fine on a Detroit company for violating emissions. This is federal because EPA is a federal agency. And taking the disagreement with the fine, it was an appeal to another court. So it would be appellate here. Some of you might say original there, but appellate as well. John sued Cindy for stealing his backpack from the cafeteria. State, civil. You can go after damages for something that could be prosecuted as a crime. Remember, I don't want to be trite with the OJ case. OJ was not guilty on the 2 murder charges against him, but the Goldmans did file suit against him for wrongful death, and because there's a lesser burden there, they won. So original jurisdiction here as well for that. Copyright infringement from publishing a book. I think I talked about this one in the agenda from Wednesday. Federal, criminal, copyright infringement because it's federal law, the copyright law, and then the appeal because he went to an appeal. A German foreign minister brought a lawsuit against the U.S. during World War I. Federal, civil, case in original jurisdiction. This is weird. This would actually end up in federal court. It might cases involving foreign ministers. This might have also ended up in the Supreme Court as original jurisdiction. The U.S. Supreme Court, one of the few times they have original jurisdiction in cases involving ambassadors. A student refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance, violating his rights. So this is a federal case of rights. I think I talked about this on a Wednesday. Civil, and then it was heard in original jurisdiction. A couple was charged with murder in Ocean City. They requested a jury trial. Of course, murder is always going to be state, especially what's in their original criminal. Lewis was caught smoking marijuana outside the Federal Treasury Building, federal property. That's why this is a federal case, even though, of course, it's court of first resort. Sally illegally downloaded a mixtape from an unlicensed website. Internet here. So this has to do with internet, and because it has to do with internet is overseen by the Federal Communications Commission, so it's a federal crime. Original jurisdiction, first time hearing the case. Criminal. A law New Jersey knitted during the fishing season. This is against New Jersey law. Knitted, meaning it's a fishing term. State law, criminal. Original jurisdiction. OJ was charged with the murder of his wife. State, criminal. Original. OJ was sued for the wrongful death of his wife by her family. State, civil. Original. I kind of gave that one away already when I was talking, and that's fine. It has to do with the other case. And then a woman in Arizona cut down an endangered cactus. Again, this is against federal law, and all these are original because they're original jurisdiction. They're the court of first resort. They're not. It's the first time the case has been heard. So hopefully you understand the difference between the state laws and then federal laws, federal overseeing usually cases of interstate commerce, federal property, something between the states or something that's going to move between the states, like federal communications, just internet, and so on. So anything Article 1, Section 8, which is seniors would know this, but the most of the freshmen that would allegedly be listening to this, Article 1, Section 8 is the Interstate Commerce Clause that has to do with Congress has the power to oversee commerce between the states. So like Amazon is commerce between the states. So they would regulate that type of activity. Money, of course, they regulate that as well. And a lot of things that stem from that, like laundering and bribery, racketeering, all those end up in federal crime. Counterfeiting, that's also a federal crime as well because it has to do with money. So hopefully a little better understanding of jurisdiction in terms of the level of the government, state or federal, civil or criminal, person versus person, for damages or criminal crime against a law, state or federal law, and then jurisdiction in terms of original or appellate jurisdiction.